Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Russell Matthews here, back with another Canadian benefit update for you. And I just wanted to pop in here today to make a quick video to let you know that there's been a little bit of a development when it comes to the whole CERB repayment situation. As you may already know, the government is finally back in the House of Commons for the first time since the holiday break. And as a result, there have been a lot of questions asked of them when it comes to this situation and how they're planning on handling it. And some new information has been revealed that sort of indicates that the government's stance might have changed a little bit since we last heard from the employment minister, Carla Qualtrough. Let me show you exactly what I'm talking about, and then we'll put it into context and talk a little bit about how this could affect people moving forward.
Meanwhile, some rich corporations that receive the wage subsidy have been paying out millions to shareholders, but this government isn't going after them. So why is this government going after Jackie and other Canadians who did nothing wrong while refusing to hold the ultra-wealthy accountable?
Speaker, when the pandemic hit, we quickly introduced the CERB, helping 8.9 million Canadians put food on their tables. We know that this continues to be a difficult time for many, and no one is required to make repayments, not Jackie, not any Canadian at this time. And in fact, we're actively looking at options to support Canadians where it might be determined that they were ineligible. As the Prime Minister has said, we're going to work with Canadians who need to make repayments in a way that's flexible for them and understanding their unique circumstances. There won't be penalties or interest for anyone who made good faith mistakes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, so there's a lot to go over there. First off, you'll see that the question was asked by an NDP member of parliament. So of course there's the little spin on it talking about, oh, we're not taxing the most wealthy Canadians or the biggest businesses. Why are we going after the small guy? Again, that's a talking point for a lot of NDP members of parliament these days. But then we get into what is more interesting, which is Carla Qualtrough's response to this question. The first thing she says is that nobody is required to make payments at this time. Now, this is a little bit of a departure from what she said last week that we talked about here on the channel. That was if you were somebody who received this letter and you were ineligible for this net versus gross income situation, that you should pay back this money as soon as you possibly can. But now, just like the Prime Minister did just before the holiday break, she's saying that maybe Canadians shouldn't pay it back right now and to just hold off for now. But of course, that's not the most beneficial information for a lot of Canadians who are having this sort of issue weigh on their mind day after day. With no specific date for when people would have to pay back by, no clear guidance on who is going to be required to pay this back on the whole net gross situation, and whether or not all of this debt will just be forgiven in the future, something that she suggested wasn't entirely impossible in a previous interview. It's so difficult for Canadians to get an idea of what is going to actually happen moving forward. But luckily, in this little clip that I've shown you, there is a little bit of information we didn't have before.
And no one is required to make repayments, not Jackie, not any Canadian at this time. And in fact, we're actively looking at options to support Canadians where it might be determined that they were ineligible.
So she said we are actively looking at ways that we can support Canadians who might be determined to be ineligible. But there's no clear sign as to what that support might be. It seems like we might get some more information in the coming weeks as these federal ministers sort of put together their plan for how they're going to tackle the issue. At the bare minimum, they've talked about incorporating payment plans that will be flexible to help people pay this back so they don't have to pay it back all in a lump sum, which some people have already done after being scared by these repayment letters, which they've called education letters. But who knows if that's the only way that they could provide support, right? When they say support, they use that same sort of language for anything from forgiveness to loans to all kinds of different programs that they could have accessible to them as the federal government. But only time will tell as to what those programs and those supports are, and that's something I'm going to keep you updated with right here on the channel. So if you haven't already done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, because I'm bringing updates like this along with anything else that might be important to you as a Canadian right here on the channel. And I'd love to hear what you think about this situation. Feel free to leave a comment down there and I'll take a look at it, and I try to reply to as many as I can. And if you want a little bit more active conversation, feel free to jump into to our community Discord server, where there's tons of people who care about issues like these, along with other Canadian issues, investing, real estate. We've been having a lot of great conversation down there, so feel free to become a part of it. And if you found this video helpful and want to help to support more Canadian content just like this, feel free to send this video to a friend who you think might also benefit from it. And with all that said, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really hope the videos helped you out at least a little bit, and I'll see you next time.